place a minute after arriving. I started to pick up the pieces and saw a small passage hidden in the wall behind the closet. I wondered what was in there. I was about to open the door when I heard heavy footsteps behind me. It was my uncle, and he looked mad as hell. Oops.
Abigail, what are you doing? Don't even think about going there if you don't want to get in trouble. Got it?
I nodded, scared, and my uncle pushed the closet to hide the mysterious door. Phew, that was close. At dinner, everyone was silent and kept frowning at me. My bright clothes didn't fit into the gothic atmosphere. It was obvious they didn't like me. I'm going to do some magic now, so don't disturb me. With those words, my aunt locked herself in one of the rooms. Magic, huh? What did that mean? I crept up to the door, hoping to see what my aunt was doing there. But then, I heard terrible screams coming from the room. My blood ran cold, and I immediately flinched back. That's so creepy. I'll come back some other time. Since I was going to live with that weird family, I wanted to at least befriend Agnes. I carefully knocked on her door and walked in. My cousin wasn't there. I decided to look around her room while I was waiting for her. There were posters of rock bands and anime characters hanging on the walls. It was awesome. She also collected manga. I picked up a random volume and started to leaf through it. Hey, what the hell are you doing here? This is a special edition. You can't touch it. Sorry, I didn't know that. She grabbed the manga and started shouting that I'd left smudges on the cover. What was the big deal? It seemed I still caused nothing but trouble. I was sure that soon they would tell me to go back to the orphanage. However, in the morning, none of them said anything. Wow, did I have another chance? That day, I went to a new school. When I was leaving, I saw a nice elderly couple at the gate. It seemed they were looking for something. Can I help you? Mr. and Mrs. King said that they lived next door and had been trying to befriend the Darks for a long time, but they wouldn't let anyone close. The couple was nice and friendly, so I said that I would invite them for tea sometime. Things went wrong at school right away. I ran into Agnes and her friends. They started to pick on me and make fun of my clothes. Check this out, guys. My cousin Abby, dressed up like she ate a unicorn. She probably sleeps with a teddy bear like a ninny. Did she just call me a ninny? They had no idea how hard it was to stay positive when you didn't have a place you could call home. I wanted to snap back at them, but then a cute guy stood up for me. Get on your brooms and go back to the crypt if you insist on acting like evil witches. Oh my. His name was Zach. He gave me a tour of the school and was very surprised to find out I was related to the Darks. You don't look like them at all. There are a lot of scary rumors about that family of wackos going around the city. He said that everyone believed our mansion was haunted and there were prisoners kept in its secret passageways. No wonder. That place was weird. After all, I did see a mysterious passage and hear screams behind a closed door, but I still didn't believe in such stupid rumors. But then, Zach said something that unnerved me. That motel of theirs should have been closed long ago. Everyone knows that no guests stay there. It must be costing them a ton of money. Could my relatives have money problems? Was that why they adopted me? To receive benefits? I was gutted and couldn't concentrate in class. Zach came up to me again and invited me to Baskin-Robbins after school. Oh, I wished I could agree. But I was an unlucky charm, remember? I was afraid that if Zach talked to me, something terrible would happen to him. So I apologized and said I was too busy that day. Oh, that's a shame. I didn't know if my relatives had taken me in for the money or not, but I wanted to thank them for their hospitality anyway, even if it was a bit, unusual. So I decided to cook them dinner when I was left alone at home. Okay, so a pinch of this, a bit of that. Oops, that's too much garlic. I set the table. I wasn't sure if my cooking skills would impress them, but I had tried really hard.
It doesn't smell great.
And it looks even worse.
Let's try it.
What happened next honestly spooked me. Agnes tried my stew and immediately spat it out on the table. Ugh, gross! She ran into the bathroom and spent forever rinsing her mouth. That was suspicious. It seemed like a bit of an overreaction. Did she hate garlic that much? You know who else can't stand garlic? Oh, holy heck! Vampires! Don't tell me that, Agnes. I didn't believe in horror stories, but anxious thoughts still kept me awake at night. I was tossing and turning when I heard a noise in the hallway. I listened and realized that someone was screaming again. What a freaking nightmare! What was going on in that house? I carefully went out into the hallway and followed the screams. They were coming from the room where my aunt was, doing magic. The door suddenly opened with a terrible creak, and a werewolf came out in a puff of smoke. Oh no! I shrank into the wall in horror, and the monster passed by without noticing me. I went back to my room on shaky legs and bolted the door with a chair. That was it. Now, I believed that there was something seriously wrong with my family. I had to get to the bottom of it. I didn't sleep a wink that night. That's why I dozed off on my desk and could not concentrate in class again. Abby, psst, did you watch the TV late last night? I wished. I desperately wanted to talk to someone about all the freaky stuff that was going on in the Darks mansion. But Zach was sweet, and I didn't want to drag him into my troubles. You look sad. I have tickets to a baseball game. Come with me. You should get your mind off things. Of course, for his sake, I refused again. At lunch, I watched Agnes. What did vampires eat at school? To my surprise, she ordered an ordinary ham sandwich. But she wouldn't fool me that easily. I told Agnes that the principal was looking for her. After my cousin had left the table, I put grated garlic into her sandwich. Then she came back, irritated as hell. Hey, did you lie to me? The principal said he wasn't looking for me. Oops, sorry. He must have meant some other Agnes Dark. I sat down at the next table and watched my cousin. She took a bite of the sandwich and immediately spat it out and started shouting that someone put garlic in her food. I was right. Then Agnes's friend pointed at me. I saw her hanging around your table. Agnes ran up to me. She was fuming. I'm allergic to garlic. This is the second time you fed it to me. Do you want me to be covered in spots? Wait, allergic? I was a moron, of course. I apologized and told her that I thought she was a vampire. I thought that would piss her off, but Agnes just laughed. You're such a weirdo. Maybe we could be friends. Phew, thanks for looking up. I was walking down the hallway smiling when I bumped into my aunt. What was she doing there? She was holding a hanger with a costume. A werewolf costume. Whoa! She saw me side-eyeing the fluffy head and burst out laughing. It turned out she was making costumes based on horror movies. The room where she was doing magic was her workshop. She was watching the movies while working for reference. That's where the terrible screams came from. I made this charming werewolf for a school play. Wow, the costume looked so real that I had mistaken it for a real werewolf. My aunt was so talented. I was glad that we cleared everything up. After classes, I came home and saw Mr. and Mrs. King at the gate again. There's no one at home now. You should come back some other time. What a shame. I made a lemon pie and wanted to treat you to it. Wow, that pie looked delicious. I couldn't let it go to waste, so I invited Mr. and Mrs. King in and offered them tea. They exchanged happy glances and agreed. Why didn't my aunt and uncle want to be friends with them? They were so charming. We walked into the kitchen. I put the kettle on, and they said they wanted to take a look around the house. It's so beautiful and interesting here. I feel like I'm in a museum. I put the pie on plates and waited for them. A few minutes passed. The tea was getting cold, and yet Mr. and Mrs. King hadn't come back yet. I went to look for them, but they were nowhere to be seen. Hello? Where are you? My uncle came home. He was walking toward the secret door behind the closet and holding a tool case. A chain was hanging off his shoulder. My heart sank. Even though I now knew there was nothing mystical about the Darks, that didn't mean they weren't keeping prisoners in secret passageways. What if my uncle was going there to tie up the poor couple with chains? I had to stop him. I ran up to my uncle and demanded he let Mr. and Mrs. King go, or I would call the police.
Abigail, what are you talking about?
Our neighbors that have been trying to befriend you for ages. My uncle turned pale.
Huh? We don't have neighbors. There's only the cemetery and the motel around. Are you saying there are strangers inside our house right now?
Wait, he was right. Why did I not think of that? Who were they then? My uncle called the police, and when they came, they managed to find the couple. They had gotten lost in the secret passageway. But the most interesting thing was that their pockets were stuffed full of jewels and the dark heirlooms. Those elderly criminals had apparently had their eyes on our mansion full of antique jewelry for a while, but hadn't known how to get in until I invited them myself. Damn it, I screwed up again. When the cops took the criminals away, my uncle said that he had forbidden me from coming close to the secret door because the passageway behind it was old and unstable. He didn't want me to get hurt.
I was just going there with my tools to do the repairs.
I felt like such a moron. I caused nothing but trouble. At dinner, I apologized for thinking so badly about my family.
We are not like everyone else, so people talk a lot of nonsense about us. It's no wonder you believe those rumors.
And then, they said that their motel really wasn't doing great.
No one wants to stay there because of all the rumors. We'll probably have to close it.
That got me thinking. What if we use those terrible rumors to our advantage? I suggested that the Darks open a haunted motel. Everyone loved my idea. My aunt started making costumes, my uncle built the decorations, and